Hello and welcome back to Conspiracy Cats. Now, every now and then a flat earther scores a spectacular own goal, and of course, we all like to have a good laugh at it. But today's video is going to show my new favourite #1 flat earth own goal. But before we get to that, let's have a look at the current top 5. And coming in at number 5 is Globebusters' own Bob Super Noodle Doodle, who famously bragged that he was going to get his hands on a fibre optic gyroscope to show that the Earth wasn't spinning 15 degrees per hour as predicted by the heliocentric model. But when he finally got his fibre optic gyroscope, what did it show?
A 15 degree per hour drift.
And then to top off this failure, he actually admitted to it on a Netflix documentary. Now you can imagine, that didn't go down well with the rest of the flat earth community, forcing Bob to go into a rather bizarre damage control mode.
Did he detect a 15 degree per hour rotation? Yes, absolutely. Did we ever say that it was Earth rotation? No, we did not.
And rocking in at number 4 is another Globebusters member, Jaren. Now, in the same Netflix documentary, Jaren proposed an experiment to prove the Earth was flat, but instead proved the Earth was actually curved. And this is all he had to say about it.
Interesting.
Now, as you can imagine, this didn't go down too well with the rest of the flat Earth community, forcing Bob Nadell to go into a rather bizarre damage control mode.
You know, as Jaren has told everybody a million times on Jaranism and on Globebusters, the experiment was inconclusive.
Next up is Sleeping Warrior, who's here for 2 reasons. Most recently, he asked his subscriber base for over £2,000 so he could enter himself for a master's degree and write a thesis on flat Earth. But when that thesis became public, his subscribers were outraged to see that it made less sense than a 2-year-old's finger painting. However, months before that, Sleeping Warrior publicly agreed with my maths on observations of Mount Rainier and agreed that the Earth could not be flat. Now, as you can imagine, this caused some outrage in the flat Earth community, causing Sleeping Warrior to go absolutely bonkers. And number 2 needs no introduction, it's our former number 1, Ranty Flat Earth, who famously filmed a boat for half an hour as it sailed away over the horizon. Now, as you can imagine, this caused some outrage in the flat Earth community, causing Ranty Flat Earth to take a good long hard look at himself and finally be honest.
I'm a stupid flat earther.
So the only question left to answer is who's just taken the number 1 top spot and what did they do to take it? But before we do that, Ranty, you are no longer my number 1, for now anyway. What do you think of that?
Thank goodness.
I know, buddy, you must be relieved. I'm sure it's been a tough few months for you. Anyway, in tribute to our former number 1, Ranty Flat Earth, I've taken his intro clip and I've adapted it to introduce our new number 1.
These are the adventures of
Quantum Eraser,
as he explores the strange world known to Fraggles as
the globe.
For fuck's sake, man!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is our old friend Quantum Eraser, and if you're not familiar with him, he's a lovely guy.
Conspiracy Cats, crayon munching Mr. Magoo.
Thank you. And for those of you who still don't remember him, maybe it's time we take a quick look at Quantum Eraser's channel description, just so we can get more of a feel for what the man's about. Oh, hello, my name's Quantum Eraser. Thanks for bobbing by my channel. I just want to tell you that in my channel you'll have an amazing experience watching me rip apart the heliocentric model in excruciating detail. Now, the kindest thing I can say about Quantum Eraser is that he doesn't allow himself to be troubled by typical human constraints like having to think before you speak. And at the minute, he seems to be taking part in more debates than ever. And in fact, you might have seen recently on the Baldy Catz channel, I put this little clip together to show how articulate he is. This is him talking to Jose JG Gonzalez, and I've linked his channel in the description. Jose has brought a whole suite of observations that show Earth curvature. So let's see how articulate Quantum Eraser can be.
It's a lighthouse, and you can get in. It's beautiful. Yep. All right. That's number 1. I got physical curve.
Cold retard.
In it. And we got a bunch of houses appear to be built underwater, but they are really not. High up the water. All right, I'll mute myself, Nathan. You can present. Go ahead with your evidence. Video footage evidence of the shape of Earth. Can you present one of your trusted source, please? Or at least one.
Shut the fuck up!
Fantastic work, Quantum Eraser. Really impressive stuff. Now, I will point out that that clip was taken from my most recent Baldy Catz video, which I've linked in the description. And coincidentally, that's also about Quantum Eraser, if anybody wants to go and have a watch. Now, before we go on to why Quantum Eraser is the new number 1 globe hero, I want to thank David Brisbane for sending me the link and the timestamp to the video that I'm about to review. And it all starts with a guest panelist on the Flat Earth debate team showing a picture of the sun setting below the horizon and claiming that that is proof of curvature, which of course it is.
But the sun is still clearly seen below level You cannot have level in something seen below it on a geometric flat surface. It has to be a sphere.
Now that's a very sound argument. Of course, photographs like that, where we can clearly see the sun dipping below the horizon, will be completely impossible on a flat Earth. There must be curvatures for us to see something like that. So how do we think Nathan Oakley and Quantum Eraser respond to this point? Do you think maybe they educate us with some advanced lesson in optics? Or do you think maybe they just talk bollocks?
Yeah, when you reify the edge of your sphere into an actual location by utilising the not actual position of the sun, moving behind the not actual position where the sky appears to meet the ground.
Yeah, so in true flat Earth debate fashion, the answer to a very simple and logical question is both as ludicrous as it is complicated.
Wait till you hear this one.
Oh yeah, I forgot. They didn't stop there. They continue to insist that the horizon doesn't exist. Now, this is going to become really important later on.
At no point will you actually concrete the horizon into a position. It's not a concrete location. You are guilty of the fallacy of misplaced concretedness.
So essentially, when the sun sets below the horizon, that's not evidence of Earth curvature. That's evidence that we are all guilty of something called the fallacy of misplaced concretedness. Now, our friend Quantum Eraser is listening to this nonsense unfold, and he's not happy.
I nearly fell off the chair. I couldn't believe that he actually said that. I had to go back and listen to it a few times. What the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, I know, right? But for now, Quantum Eraser remains silent, knowing that he's about to jump to the defence of the globe in spectacular fashion. But the guest panellist, well, he's not so shy. He just says what we're all thinking.
No normal human being, Nathan, could be this stupid.
Absolutely, but this is Nathan Oakley we're talking about. He's no ordinary human being. He is a living, breathing, flat Earth, thug life meme.
Perfect. Brick, not moving. What's its vector, Victor? Brick, not moving. Go! Brick, not moving. What's its vector, Victor? Brick, not moving. Dick brain.
So after talking nonsense, Nathan Oakley then tries something he's never done before, and that's introduce a little bit of science to the conversation.
The sun that you see is an apparent position and not an actual position. Were you unaware of this?
Sun's apparent.
Okay, so refraction does cause us to see the sun and the stars in a slightly different position to the position they're actually in. And I'm sure we all remember diagrams like this from school that show us how these virtual images are formed. But today's guest doesn't want to let Nathan Oakley derail the conversation in this way. You see, the point Nathan Oakley wants to make is that when we see pictures of the sun setting below the horizon, because the position of the sun isn't an apparent one, it's some sort of optical illusion, and the sun isn't actually anywhere near the horizon, because obviously, if we have the sun below the horizon, that is proof of curvature. But our friend fires back at Nathan and explains that the apparent position and the real position of the sun are actually very close.
That the sun's actual position versus the apparent position can be off by about a half a degree.
So not very useful for measuring stuff then. Definitely not useful for reifying the position called the horizon into an actual location then. Could be off. I couldn't care less.
Wow. Can we hear that again?
I couldn't care less. Dick brain.
So the scene is set. Our panellist is saying that photographs like this are proof of curvature, while Nathan Oakley is saying that these photographs are just some sort of optical illusion, the horizon doesn't exist, and the sun can never set below it. Please welcome our hero, Quantum Eraser.
Quantum Eraser. His favourite word is
container.
Quantum Eraser. His favourite word is
container.
Now, another kind thing I can say about Quantum Eraser is that he's not troubled by the idea of having to retain any sort of information. Quantum Eraser likes to lecture people on science by simply reading definitions from any kind of textbook or source that he feels backs up his cause. And now he's going to give us all a lesson on refraction. However, Quantum Eraser, remember the point that Nathan Oakley is trying to make. Nathan Oakley is trying to make the point that the sun can never set below the horizon because the horizon doesn't exist and it will be impossible on a flat Earth. All right? Make sure you get your story correct. Good luck.
Atmospheric optics from the University of British Columbia. Consequently, the sun or any celestial object setting on the horizon will be refracted the largest amount. As mentioned before, the angle of refraction is great enough that an observer can see the sun when it is actually below the horizon.
Did he just say the sun could be below the horizon?
No.
I think he did. Didn't he?
No.
No, I think he really did. Didn't he?
Oh, no.
No, he did, and put a shirt on. Didn't he?
No. No. It's not important.
Well, I think it is important. Let's have another look.
Below the horizon.
Quantum Razor, do you want to comment on this?
For fuck's sake, man!
And you know what? Quantum Razor actually didn't understand the significance of what he just said. So he said it again.
The disk of the sun has an angular distance of about 30 arc minutes, or half a degree. The index of refraction for dry air at sea level is about 1.00 whatever, which means that the amount of refraction in dry air is also quite small, about 39 arc minutes, but enough that as the bottom of the sun's disk is seen to touch the horizon, the top is actually 9 arc minutes below the horizon. Thanks for your have a nice day.
Now, I love the way that he signs off on this video, like he's delivered some kind of lecture on refraction and walks away like a boss. Let's just hear that sign off one more time.
As the bottom of the sun's disk is seen to touch the horizon, the top is actually 9 arc minutes below the horizon. Thanks for your have a nice day.
No, Quantum Razor, thank you. You are, at least for today, my new favourite globe hero.
For fuck's sake, man!
Now, this video did get me thinking. What would the backlash have been for Quantum Razor after the stream had ended? When he was sat around the table with all his flat earth friends, how would he justify to them the fact that he just said that the sun sets below the horizon? I wonder if it went anything like this.
Below.
How dare you?
Below the horizon.
No.
Below.
Can't prove it.
Below the horizon.
Tape your mouth shut.
Absolute nonsense.
Shut the door behind him and let Nathan savage him.
Below.
What the hell is your problem?
Below the horizon.
I think the sun is liquid.
Bright sunshine.
I agree with everything you're saying.
How? Good.
Conspiracy cats.
Yeah, well,
Where's the sun?
I don't know.
It is
Below the horizon.
I couldn't care less!
Catz, conspiracy cats. No one quite liking to flatten the flats, so come